Drills Talk, episode 94. In this episode, we're going to discuss the top 3 reasons earned income is holding you back. This is based on a blog I wrote in the past entitled 7 Streams of Income, Earned Income. So, yes, there are 7 streams of income, and we're going to discuss earned income. It's the most common way we have money coming in our world is working. So, having a job and, going and waiting on that paycheck and budgeting out of that paycheck only to do it all over again. We're going to discuss how earned income can be holding you back from the other 6 if you don't utilize it correctly, and also going to be holding you back in life. Let's go.
Yo, Drills.
Drills Talk, episode 94. In this episode, we're going to discuss the top 3 reasons earned income is holding you back. But before we get started, please like, subscribe, show your love however you would like to show your love. Here we're an entrepreneurship-based channel. Every Monday, we have a new blog. Every Wednesday, a new Drills Talk. And every Friday, I release an instrumental produced by me to show you exactly what I do when I'm not making YouTube videos. So let's get started. Number 1. Number 1 is it's the only stream you know, which at this time there's nothing wrong with. It's the only stream you know. But if you sit down and think about it, you say this can't be the only way to earn money, right? It can't be the only way to earn money. Like, what's the other ways I can earn money? You just have to sit down and think, okay, well, I go to the store and I buy something and then I have that item. All right, you have that item. What happened in that entire transaction? How'd that item get to you? So yeah, the people who made the item, they probably work like you, but their bosses, they probably own that company, right? So that's a different stream of income because they're not working. All right, okay. What about the store you went to? They didn't make that product. They just sold the product to you. So they paid for it at a lower price. You paid for it with a premium. They made money. The company made money. And then you got your product. So obviously they can't be just one way, right? You pay rent. You pay rent to a person. You don't pay rent to a company. They're making money. And that's not work. They didn't earn that income. That's a different stream. That must be something different. You're right. What about the people who put their earnings and invested into something, and then that investment rises? That's not work. Their money made that money. So that has to be a different stream also. You are correct. So when you sit down and you understand that, okay, this is not the only method of making money, I need to do some research, then you're on the right track. Number 2 is it can be hard to break away from. So now you've discovered that there are other streams, and the other stream showed you that maybe there's some startup money needed to do those other streams. Okay, so that means I have to stay with my earned income route. I have to keep my job. Yeah, for the time being you do. You're right. But what are you doing with that money, that budget that you have, knowing that there are other streams that you want to get to? Is it a little tighter? Do you have less spending money? Did you cut out some bills to allocate that money towards what it is you want to do? Whatever stream you chose that you were going to try out in attempts to eventually get rid of the earned income route. Have you? It's hard to break away from because you get that check either every week or bi-weekly, and you're used to getting that. Like, you can go to work, you can have a bad week, you still get the same check as if you go to work and you have a great week. If you're not in sales, if you're in a salaried job, salaried position. That's not how it works outside of that. Like, if you invest in something and they have a bad week, the stock goes down. They have a great week, the stock goes up. You make more money. If you're out selling something, you have a great week, you make more money. If you have a bad week, you have a whole bunch of inventory that you don't really want, but you have more work for next week, right? And also less money. So the steadiness of earned income can definitely be a reason why it's so hard to leave. Also, fear. You've went to school from pretty much 7 to 5, if you went to after school, a 7 to 3. You graduate from school and now you're working from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6. You're used to that, right? And you're celebrating the weekends and you complain, but it's what you've been doing since you were 5 years old. And now you get paid for it, right? So yes, it's very hard to leave. But you have to understand that it's hard to leave for a reason. Because they know there's something else out there that will have you no longer attend that daily Monday through Friday trade that you're making. And we're going to discuss exactly what that trade is in number 3. Number 3 is it's a terrible trade. What's a terrible trade? Earned income is a terrible trade. Working is a terrible trade. You are trading your time, limited, for money. Technically unlimited, right? So if there's an unlimited amount of money, we're thinking that, okay, great, everybody can have some. But if you're only making money when you're trading your time and you only have a limited amount of time, then logically you have a limited amount of money you can make, correct? So you're getting that? If you are talented in something, you have a certification and you can demand a certain amount of money, that's great. But if you can only work 10 hours a day, whatever that hourly rate you can demand, it's never going to go above that times 10, right? So that's your day. Say $50. Let's say you have a trade, you can make $50 an hour. That's $500. That sounds like a lot, but you're going to get used to that $500. And if that $500 is never going to move, other than when inflation goes up, which is not really changing, it's like, okay, well, now I make 60, but inflation says that you should be making 65. So you're actually making a little less. And that's something else you can look into later. But every bump that you get during this earned income journey is not exactly a bump. You're just kind of making the same amount of money with different numbers. Inflation is something you definitely need to understand if it's going to help you leave this earned income and get you into investing or trying to make money in a different way. But back to the terrible trade. You're trading hours for money. You have to sleep. You have to have a life. And then you have time for work. You're limited. And when you want to make money, the last thing you want to hear is limits. And that's what we're doing. That's the terrible trade we're making. So if you never looked at it that way, understand that yes, there is an absorbent amount. There's an extravagant amount of money in this world. They print it. It's out there. But if you can only make it when you're trading your personal time, your life, basically, you're trading your life for funds, then you're doing it wrong. And nobody tells us we're doing it wrong, but we are. And now that you know you're doing it wrong, you can understand that there are 6 other streams that may need your attention. Drills Talk, episode 94. These are the top 3 reasons earned income is holding you back. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. It's drills.com. Check this out. It's Drills.